In 1908, Sultan Abdul Hamid was overthrown in a military coup led by a racist Turkish nationalist government. This was the beginning of the end of the Ottoman Empire. The new Ottoman government, led by Enver Pasha, discriminated against Arabs, Kurds, and all non-Turkish races living in the Ottoman Empire. This type of government had never existed in the history of the Ottoman Empire and was influenced by the European idea of nationalism instead of the idea of Islamic unity between different races and cultures. The new Ottoman government believed that the only way to strengthen the empire in the face of external threats was to assimilate the entire population into a single Turkish identity and to Turkify the population. However, this forced assimilation was rejected by the Arabs of the Ottoman Empire, who led a massive rebellion against the government, which eventually led to the collapse of Ottoman rule in the Arab world and the collapse of the entire Ottoman Caliphate. The new Ottoman government prevented Arabs from using the Arabic language as an official language in local government, schools, and newspapers, and they were forced to use the Turkish language as a primary means of communication. In addition to this, the Ottoman government imposed compulsory military service on the Arabs of the Ottoman Empire during World War I. In 1915, several Arab provinces of the Ottoman Empire experienced famine due to the Ottoman authorities confiscating agricultural land in order to finance the army during the war. Tens of thousands of people died of hunger, and in the city of Aleppo in the province of Syria, 60,000 people died as a result of the famine. However, despite this injustice and oppression, most Arabs in the Ottoman Empire did not have any intention of overthrowing the Ottoman Empire. During this period, many efforts were made by Ottoman Arab intellectuals to try and push for reforms in the Ottoman central government and end discrimination against Arabs. For example, in the year 1913, a group of Arab intellectuals founded the Ottoman Party for Administrative Decentralization, which advocated for more autonomy for Arab provinces in the empire. Many other political parties were formed in Ottoman Syria, Iraq, and Hijaz, such as the Young Arab Society, the Al-Qahtaniya Association, and the Al-Ahad Party. However, the Ottoman government brutally silenced all calls for political reform, and hundreds of Arab activists were executed by hanging on the orders of Jamal Pasha, who was the Ottoman governor of Syria. Jamal Pasha accused anyone who spoke out against the government of treason. Many Arab activists and intellectuals were executed, including Shukri al-Asali, Abdul Hamid al-Zahrawi, Rafiq Rizq Saloom, Shafiq Muayyad al-Azam, Rushdi al-Shama, Salim al-Jazairi, Abdul Ghani al-Araisi, Umar Hamad, and Abdul Karim al-Khalil. Therefore, many Arabs in the Ottoman Empire abandoned the political process and began promoting the idea of overthrowing the Ottoman government. Arab leaders began advocating for violence and armed rebellion. The Arabs of the Ottoman Empire began to rally around Sharif Hussein ibn Ali, who later became the leader of the 1916 Arab rebellion against the Ottoman Empire. Sharif Hussein was an influential Arab religious leader who was appointed as the Emir of the Holy City of Mecca by Sultan Abdul Hamid. His relationship with the Ottomans was initially good, as Sultan Abdul Hamid had appointed him as the Emir of Makkah in order to try and bring stability to the region of Hijaz. During his time as the Emir of Makkah, Sharif Hussein led many military campaigns on behalf of the Ottomans against raiding Bedouin tribes from the regions of Najd and Asir, and he managed to end banditry and bring security back to Ottoman Hijaz. However, after Sultan Abdul Hamid was overthrown in 1908, Sharif Hussein's relation with the Ottoman government became tense. Sharif Hussein opposed the new government's policy of Turkification and forced assimilation. He also opposed the Ottoman government's decision to enter World War I, as the empire was stretched thin and did not have the resources for such a war. When Jamal Pasha began accusing Arabs of being foreign agents during World War I, Sharif Hussein tried to use his power as an influential Arab leader to mediate between Jamal Pasha and Arab activists. On May 6, 1916, Sharif Hussein sent his son Faisal to Damascus in order to negotiate the release of a group of Arab activists who had been arrested and accused of treason by Jamal Pasha. However, Jamal Pasha refused to accept any mediation and executed all of the Arab activists on the same day. This greatly angered Sharif Hussein, who sent a telegraph to the superintendent Enver Pasha stating, "The victory of the empire in the war depends on the participation of all Ottoman elements, especially the Arabs, because the most important battles will take place in their lands. Pleasing the Arab people depends on healing their hearts, which were wounded by the accusation of a large number of Arabs of various political charges, and their arrest and trial before military courts. The remedy for this problem is declaring a general amnesty for political prisoners and giving the province of Syria a decentralized system of autonomous governance. If these demands are accepted, I pledge to mobilize the Arab tribes in Iraq and Palestine to help the empire in the war, and if they are not accepted, I ask you not to expect anything from me." After his message to the Ottoman government fell on deaf ears, Sharif Hussein began planning a full-scale rebellion against the Ottoman government. Sharif Hussein was known for his justice and generosity, and he was loved by the people of the region. Ottoman Arab leaders and intellectuals chose Sharif Hussein as their leader because he was the most influential leader in the holy city of Mecca, which was the holiest city of Islam and was the source of legitimacy for the Ottoman Caliphate. Shortly after the Ottoman government failed to answer his demands, Sharif Hussein began communicating with the British High Commissioner in Egypt, known as Henry McMahon, in order to obtain military and financial support in his revolt against the Ottoman government. On June 10, 1916, Sharif Hussein declared a rebellion against the Ottoman government after he fired a bullet in the direction of Istanbul from the balcony of his house in Mecca. Sharif Hussein wanted to overthrow the Ottoman government and establish a new Islamic caliphate. He assembled a massive army of 70,000 men, which consisted of Arab tribes and defected Arab soldiers from the Ottoman army. Many former Ottoman army officers and commanders, such as Rashid Baqdounis, Ali al-Sharairi, Ali Rida al-Rikabi, Subhi al-Umari, Muhammad Ali al-Ajluni, Maulud Mukhlis, Ja'far al-Askari, and Aziz Ali al-Masri joined the rebel army of Sharif Hussein. Sharif Hussein's rebel army began attacking Ottoman bases, and in 1916 they managed to capture the port city of Jeddah. The capture of Jeddah facilitated the arrival of weapons and supplies from Egypt. The rebels continued to attack Ottoman positions in the region of Hijaz, and they even destroyed the Hijaz railway in order to disrupt supply lines and restrict the movement of the Ottoman army in the harsh desert of Hijaz. Sharif Hussein was able to launch surprise attacks against the Ottoman army in the desert with the help of Arab tribes who were used to fighting in such rough conditions. Many Arab tribal leaders such as Sheikh Saleh Diab al-Awran, Auda Abu Tai, Saleh al-Muhaysin, Hamad bin Jazi, Sharaf bin Rajeh, Sharif Ali al-Harithi, Miqtal al-Fayez, Shaylawa al-Utaybi, Mahmud al-Fawur and Hakim al-Muhaid joined Sharif Hussein's army and led their tribal forces in attacks against the Ottoman army. Within a few months, the army of Sharif Hussein managed to capture several towns and cities from the Ottomans, such as Ma'an and Aqaba, and they had conquered most of the region of Hijaz. After conquering towns and cities, Sharif Hussein urged his fighters to be conscious of the Islamic rules of war. He stated, "I advise you to follow the approach prescribed by the noble Sharia by being considerate of the prisoners of war and preserving their lives and dignity and not harming any of them." Sharif Hussein also gave refuge to hundreds of Christian Armenian civilians who were fleeing to the Syrian desert after escaping massacres at the hands of the Ottoman government. In order to gain even more support for his revolution, Sharif Hussein established the Al-Qibla newspaper, which became the voice of the revolution, where articles were published calling on Arabs to rise up against the unjust Ottoman government. As a result, more and more people began to join the revolution. Former Ottoman government officials such as Faiz al-Hussein and Sati al-Husri defected from the Ottoman government and joined the revolution of Sharif Hussein. The Arab Revolt was also supported by Arab Ottoman intellectuals and journalists such as Aqil Abu Shar, Muhammad bin Yusuf al-Shuraiqi, Fuad Salim, Amin Saeed, Auni Abdul Hadi, Rashid Talai, Sheikh Abdullah Siraj, Adil Arsalan, and Fuad al-Khatib. Many Islamic preachers also considered the Arab rebellion as legitimate and religiously justifiable. Islamic scholars such as Sheikh Ahmed Alawi al-Saqqaf also joined the revolution and called on their religious followers to support the rebellion. The rebel army of Sharif Hussein continued to gain victories and inflicted huge losses on the Ottoman army. By October 1918, the army of Sharif Hussein managed to capture the city of Damascus in Syria. The Ottomans no longer had control of the Arab world, and the Ottoman army was forced to retreat to Anatolia. However, after the Ottomans were kicked out of the Arab world, the British stabbed Sharif Hussein in the back, occupied various regions of the Middle East along with the French army, and divided the region between themselves and the French.